All right. Good morning, everybody. Last night was a little bit eventful. More people here are infected with the COVID virus. And, my kid comes home and says to me, I don't have to go to school. Right? Because of the COVID? Yeah, because of the COVID. Now the numbers are up to somewhere around 1,000. And most of it emanates supposedly from the market in Samut Sakon. And my wife actually was eating some squid last night. She said, I want you to be very careful about about handling the seafood and everything like that, because it could have come from that market and you never know. I said, yeah, okay, it's a bit unlikely, and I'm not all that worried, but it is something to consider. But there's a few things that are a little bit worrying. One is that they may lock down Thailand again. It's not finalized yet, but just when they opened up again to many countries and they have these no visa entries. Good morning. Soy Dog Cowboy. Just when they have these no visa entries, and they're allowing other countries to come in. The UK is locked down, in or out. Myanmar, which is where these supposedly these people came from, these illegal migrants came from, which, the government knows about them, but just like in the United States, they need the migrant workers, so they allow them to come in. They all live in the same areas to save money. Then they pass it on to somebody, and then the thing is that it's not far from Bangkok. And I just was reading how Ortor Core Market, which is down by CASHAPP, they're checking people there. Workers and people in the market, workers as in any Burmese workers, but also workers in the market. They're checking people to see if they have the virus. And then what they're doing in Samut Sakon apparently is they are, thank you very much, Tony, Chokdi, good luck for you. All day, you are the first of the day. Hopefully the first of many. But, whatever, you're the first. And there's a number of things. First of all is the lockdown. Obviously, the virus, whether you believe in everything, how much it factors into the people's death, and whether the death rate is overinflated or whatever it is, whatever you believe, it is what it is, and it causes politicians to act in the United States, all around the world, not only here, but with so many people wanting to come in. They're talking about locking it down again, and there's also talk of not allowing the tourist industry to return to what it was before the COVID, because the Thai government does not want Thai people to rely on international tourism as much as it has in the past, which is understandable. However, what are they going to do to replace that income, those revenues? How is everybody going to go, well, I owned a couple of tour companies, but no more now, now what am I going to do? So this is part of the Thailand Reset. It's actually called the Thailand Reset 2021. I would not, here's the thing, and I said this before, I would not be traveling international now. Because just like having a connection in a place where you can't get out of or go into, now it may be different for him because he's, a part of the UK. I don't know. Hopefully he won't have any problems. But, the big thing is that they're saying they don't want the same amount of tourism as in the past. And not only that, they have admitted they can't stop all the, which, it makes sense. They can't stop everybody from coming in, the illegal immigrants. They can't stop these people because they are desperate. They need the money. They need to work. That's why they come to Thailand, to make money. And so they're desperate. And then the number of cases are surging in Myanmar. And so I just saw this. It's funny that I put the nail in the coffin in one of my streams the other day, and it was mainly because of the exchange rate, which, by the way, is now up to 30.09 the last I checked. But I saw this article, Bangkok Post, this morning. It says travel industry faces nail in the coffin after new outbreak. As Phuket and other tourist destinations prepare for a slight bump in business from the countdown to 2021, which, as I said yesterday, the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration is talking about not allowing the countdown to New York, which they have every New Year's Eve, and they're talking about just banning all of them, all of these countdowns. A new virus outbreak among seafood factories in Samut Sakhon couldn't come at a worse time, agreed. The country discovered a record cluster of infections at the central shrimp market. We already know this, prompting a 14-day lockdown there. The government is mulling whether curbs need to be expanded to other locales. Everyone is losing and just trying to break even. If the government can't control the virus, which I don't think any government can truly control this, they can't control the flu. I mean, you can get a flu shot, you can get out of it. The bottom line is, I just think eventually people are just going to throw their arms up and go, there's nothing we can do. Yesterday I talked about buying a ticket for the end of next month to fly to like Krabi or some other destination. I woke up this morning and I thought, what am I going to do? Why would I buy a ticket now when the airport is probably more than willing to screw you out of your money, or we won't give a refund, but you can reschedule your ticket or whatever. And so when this is the thing, if they just say, I'm sorry, there's no more flights right now, you're grounded, then you're out of your money. You're out of your money until you can travel again. Well, who wants to do that? I'd rather just risk it and take a longer train ride to see what happens. Jesus Christ. Hang on one second here. So there's a lot going on, and in the meantime, I spoke with Mr. Tom yesterday, who, if you follow the streams, you know that he's gone through the quarantine, and he had his little problems, but basically it was just pay the money, take your time, and you'll get through it. And now he only had a 3-month marriage visa, and usually what he does is he goes back to the United States and he just lets his visa lapse, and he gets a brand new visa, not an extension, every year. So I was asking him, hey, what are you going to do this time? And he didn't know at the time, and so he went into immigration, and now he's worked on his extension. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, and I'm not sure when he'll come in. Good morning to all, Sawadee Cup, and all that good stuff. So that's a few of the things that are going on. We got the lockdown. We got Cambodia tightening its borders. Myanmar is closed. So I am very hesitant to say things will be back to normal because of the vaccine. I just don't see it happening. it's going to take time. It's going to take time to cycle through all this stuff. And when you got Thailand saying, hey, we're warning you, we may lock this place down again, what are you going to do here? The Prime Minister said he wanted to spend 7 days to assess the COVID-19 situation to decide whether the New Year countdown should be held or not, as well as Children's Day. Of course, he asked the public not to panic. What else are they going to do? How many leaders just come out and publicly say, well, we're screwed, we don't know what we're going to do, you're on your own? It doesn't happen. So, I'm a little bit pessimistic. He added that the public health ministry had assured him at its morning briefing that the situation was still under control. So far, the information provided and gathered is not sufficient to make an educated prediction about the situation here. That's why they're saying approximately 1 week, but it's close to 1,000 people, and it says here 14 new local transmissions were recorded on Monday. One in Ayutthaya, which is where I just came from, 2 in Nakhon Pathom, 3 in Samut Prakan, which is somewhere that I found somewhere to go earlier today. I'd really like to go there. There's a place that I'd like to go there. 5 in Samut Sakhon, 2 in Bangkok, and 1 in Tak. And all 14 were linked to the shrimp market. Now the thing is that these, the Burmese migrant workers, they run around and they go from place to place. They don't just stay in, some people just stay in the area, but they go other places. They come to Bangkok, they move around a little bit. I think no matter how you slice it, you gotta be careful. They're supposed to test an additional 10,300 migrant workers. And it says that the apartments where they live are being turned into makeshift quarantine centers. Let's see here. Customers, buyers go everywhere with the product. Yes, that's true. And this is a problem because it has to do with the, with food. If you don't have food, if you don't have a food supply, you're in deep shit. Now they're not nearly at this point now, and it's only the seafood market, so that's good. It's not like it's spread from farm to farm and those kind of things. Let's see here about the lockdown. Yeah, it's basically what the problem is that international tourism accounts for something like 20% of the Thai GDP. And so they're losing huge amounts of money. And I don't know if they have any idea what they're going to do. They're trying to get investors. That's the plan. That is the plan. And I just, for the life of me, I don't know how they're going to do it, because who wants to invest in a place where people are hesitant to have hotels? A lot of the hotels are going to be shut down. I don't understand it. Now, I'm not an economist, I'm not in the hotel industry, but while the international market has been virtually dormant for months, domestic travelers have kept many places afloat, including in Phuket, where businesses were counting on a bump during the year-end holidays. Now, let me see if I can find this article about the yeah, okay, here we go. Thailand government will not allow tourism to fully recover. Pretty sad. Let's see here. Yeah, the Thailand travel and tourism industry accounts for approximately 20% of the GNP, excuse me, and 10% of all jobs across the country, including my wife. This is concerning for property developers and investors. And basically what they're saying is there was close to 40 million tourists last year to Thailand. They don't want to hit those numbers, so that's a reversal. They've said in the past months, they've said, oh, it'll come back, we're going to get it back, we're going to do all sorts of things to get the tourists back, and now they're reversing their position because the virus has exposed the cracks and faults in the Thai economy. It says, we rely too much on export and tourism. This is the Deputy Prime Minister, Supathanantpong Punmitchao. He is the one who said that, and I agree. They are too reliant. Well, the problem is not having having tourism and building it up, but you need to have some other kind of industries that are as strong as that one. In other words, they don't want to rely too much on it, and they have been. And this is the thing. And then it's so funny because I have another article I want to read about them biting the hand that the Thais biting the hand that feeds them, and yet the tourists and the expats are the ones supplying a large amount of the revenue to the Thai economy, and yet, in many people's opinion, foreigners' opinions, they are not treated like they are truly respected. They're treated as second-class citizens. Now, I don't always agree with this, but in some cases, yeah, they are. You are a visitor here. You need to act like one, act accordingly. However, if you allow the people to come here, then they, little things, like with the taxi drivers and things like that, it's like those little things, people remember that. And someone told me a long time ago that one of the things you need to remember is that when you go somewhere or you talk to someone, you may not remember exactly what they said to you. You may not remember all the words and specifically what they say, but you will remember how what they said makes you feel, or what they did to you makes you feel. Now, when you go to a taxi driver, and this is a small thing, but for a tourist who's standing there in front of his hotel trying to get a hotel, and this guy goes, it's going to cost you 500 baht, buddy. And you're like, yeah, but it says on my GPS it's only 10 minutes away or 5 minutes away. Yeah, 500 baht. People remember this. And so I think, the word is out. Thailand I think they need to rethink their tourism, which I think they are doing. And they may continue to cater to higher end tourists, but I think they damn sure better treat them with a hell of a lot of respect. You treat the customer like they're king. And I think in Asia in general, and I learned this a long time ago, the attitude is different than, say, in the United States, which generally, from what I've seen, is supposed to be that the customer is king. However, in Asia, it may be, I've got the product, you pay me, and you should feel fortunate that you can have my product. And that doesn't fly with foreigners. It may be okay with Thais. But this is the thing. People coming in from other countries don't care about all these things. They don't always have time. They will try to respect your culture and these kind of things, but they don't always have time to go, hey, you know, let me see something here. Here's the thing with the further testing. Obviously, the more tests you have, the more people that are going to come up positive, because it's out there. They haven't started vaccinating the entire population, so you're going to have higher numbers. But what I always say is, how many people have died? How many people are affected long term by this physically? And when you have accidents from one day or one weekend, the number of deaths from the accidents outnumbering the number of people who have died from this virus in 8 months, that should tell you something. And I understand they've shut things down, they've tried to do a lot of things. Maybe it's the culture, because they don't shake hands, they don't kiss as often publicly. You know, it's not like they're kissing each other on the cheek and getting close to each other. They why each other. But the bottom line is, there's only 60 people dead. And that's not to downplay 60 people who passed away. I'm wondering how many of those 60 people passed away that would have passed away in, say, the next 6 months anyway, and catching this virus furthered their problems, and you know. So there, you know, there's a lot going on, and then you have the United States, which, you know, I hope everybody's happy with the stimulus package. Somehow I don't think most people are. I think it's a case of something is better than nothing. But, you know, look at the United States and the turmoil that's going on over there. It's this, I don't even know how to say it. The world is just in chaos right now. And, you know, you can stay in your own little area. Like when I go home, my world is not in chaos. My world's fine. I don't have a problem. Now, my kid's world might be in chaos now, because although Alex is out of school, if this continues, I don't know if he's going to have to, if he's still going to be going into school, you know, which is about a half hour, 45 minutes from our house, or he's going to be doing online learning. Nicholas he's stuck for the next couple of weeks. No going to school. And so my wife has said, hey, you don't need to be going out with your buddies. You don't need to be doing any of this stuff. And same with Alex. So they're pretty much isolated right now, all because of this, you know. Now let me see something else here. What's going on with this? Before I go any further, let me tell you the details of what's going on here with the, you know, the usual morning stuff. Very cool here today. 66 degrees. Now this is about 2 hours ago. 66 degrees. That was the low. 84 is the high. 71% humidity, 10% chance of rain. The feel-like temperature is exactly like the temperature, which is unusual. The baht is 30.08 to the dollar. And it is a bit windy. North 8 miles an hour. So at least the weather is pretty good. Only a 10% chance of rain, which means it's probably not going to rain. And that is right in this area. So the temperatures might be a little bit different elsewhere, but it is very cool. And, you know, all I can say is it's a hell of a lot more comfortable than running around where you're not sweating your balls off, you know. And even, I was talking to Jono the other day, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, and he said, this was the first time that I've been able to go down to the grocery, come back carrying, a bag or two of groceries, and I wasn't sweating my ass off by the time I got back to my place. So, now, if you're subscribed, thank you. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe or consider subscribing. Click the little notification bell. Leave a thumbs up if you would. And I want to give a big thanks out to everybody. Let's give a shout out to Mr. Tony. He's now a member of my YouTube channel. You can become a member by clicking that little join button. He also occasionally uses super chats, so thank you very much, like he did this morning. Appreciate that. And all you have to do is go down into the description. It's got my merchandise, it's got the Cash App link, it's got the PayPal link, it's even got the sponsorship, the little join button link down in the description. It's got the links to both of my books, my Amazon shop, and of course Patreon. So there's plenty of ways to contribute, or you can just contribute by maybe communicating in the chat, or just watching. That helps too. Have you guys had any mask mandates in Thailand yet? Well, there have been, where people were supposed to wear masks everywhere. However, now it's not mandated, it's recommended. But when you come into a private establishment like the mall, you are expected to wear a mask. I don't have to wear my mask right now. I do have one in my pocket, and I have one in my bag there. I always have an extra one just in case. And my wife doesn't usually complain about things that are going on in Thailand or whatever, but she did say to me, she goes, you know what, I can't stand the fact I gotta wear a mask everywhere. She goes, like, it's hot, it irritates my face. She's like, it's hard to breathe. I don't think anybody likes wearing the masks. So, but it is important to, at least for now, to use the mask. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how I feel, but one thing that I know is that I don't want to be singled out as the foreigner in the one area. I'm in an area like this, I'm sitting in Starbucks, and I start walking out the door. I go over somewhere, I'm walking around the mall, and I go, oh, I don't have my mask on. I don't want somebody to come and go, oh, the mall's got the COVID, it's because of that foreigner. He's the one. He did it. And I'm singled out. So, that's the thing. It's, for me, I'm not as worried, although my wife did say to me, she goes, you're older. You might want to think about it. Your health is questionable. You need to think about it. And refrain from going a few places. Now, one thing that, like I said, I was going to fly out. I was going to pick up one or two places to go. And, when you got a $15 ticket each way, it's hard to beat that price. And I want to go somewhere, but I don't really want to fly, and I don't want to be going places if I know that this virus is spreading again, and not because I'm so scared of having the virus, although I'd rather not have it than have it, more because I don't want to get it, and then I get accused of things, and I'm in the media and all this other kind of stuff. Oh my God, can you see the backlash? It Mr. Richard. Good morning, Mr. Richard. I think the thing with the mask is that, a little shitty mask like this, all it does is prevent you from sneezing directly on somebody. Now, I have a good one, and I have a couple of good ones. I have one that's really good that was actually given to me by Robert and Patia, and it's a bit heavy. So if I'm gonna go somewhere and I'm gonna be indoors and I know it's gonna be cool, and I know, like, you know, you're being monitored, I'll wear it. But if I'm walking around like out in the hot sun or something like that, or in the mall when nobody basically is gonna get within a couple of feet of me, you know. Yeah, I feel for the people in New York for a number of reasons. And Mr. Soy Dog Cowboy, fortunately, is down in FL. He's down in my neighborhood. And so, you know, yeah, I feel for the people in New York. I feel for the people in California who, they're not only suffering because of, you know, the stipulations of what's going on with the virus, but also because some of these leaders are just out of control. How about any visa amnesty? What visa amnesty? You got no amnesty anymore. The amnesty's over. It's been over. Well, I think you know how I feel about the CCP. I think I've made my thoughts very, very clear. You know, I don't like them. Johnny, how's it going? I mean, you know, but you know, the whole thing is, at this point, right now, we're not in a position where we need to be worrying about who caused it. Right now, we need to worry about getting through it, because it's getting worse, not better. I don't know. I haven't asked any lately. Before, a lot of Thais thought it was from America. My wife didn't, because, you know, of course I would never allow that. Couldn't be from America. Who knows the whole story? But I think that their track record is such that you have to be pessimistic about every single thing they say. And from me being in Hong Kong and watching the way that the police acted, the government acted, all I got to say is I think that their government needs to be changed. Now, I'm not advocating anything, you know, personally, but I would not lose any sleep if somebody much better, much more open-minded, and not a communist came into power and did change their country up a bit. Because I don't think that the vast majority of the people, I don't think are, you know, it's not like the people are bad. I'm sure there are some that are bad. I've seen some. But there's a lot of good people. And so I think, you know, the government, it's just like in the United States. The government's driving people crazy. You know, and it'll happen here. It'll happen here. You know, there's a lot of places already closed. I've been to a lot of different places in the last, you know, 8 months. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Dude, why would they do another visa amnesty? They already had a visa amnesty, and it's over. So there is no more visa amnesty. They're not going to do another one. Why on earth would they do that? If you're still here, you need to leave. If you don't have a visa, the proper visa, you need to leave. Simple. Now, getting into the visa thing, yeah, I heard about that too. I don't know if it's real or not. Listen, I know that I come on here and I talk and I talk and I talk about this and that. I try to be somewhat informed about things. But I try to keep away from the news as much as possible. That's why I don't want you motherfuckers sending me all these freaking, you know, conspiracy theory things. I get all these conspiracy theory messages and emails and comments, and I don't care. All I care about is my little bubble. I care about my good subscribers, I care about my friends, and I care about my family. And the rest of the world, I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? I'm just one person. One very, uh, I'm basically a person without much power at all, like zero power. So, I just try not to worry about any of it. And yes, the news, you don't know what's true, what's not true. Uh, one organization tries to piss you off, one tries to pacify you. It's just bullshit. So, uh, you know, listen, I cannot watch CNN because every time I see CNN, I wanna punch, one of these guys, Don Lemon especially. I want to crack him. Chris Cuomo. Oh, yeah, I'd love to give him a nice elbow in the face. Thank you very much there, Mr. Johnny. Appreciate that. I'm always hesitant now to say Merry Christmas to people, but Happy Holidays. Merry Christmas to you, Johnny, and you and yours, you and your wife, and everybody else. And Choke B. But to everybody out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Festivus for the rest of us, and Happy Hanukkah, and whatever else it might be. CNN, you're just one ant in the massive ant colony. Exactly. Listen, I know that Joe Rogan says we're all chimps, but we're more like ants. We're not like chimps. We're ants. We may physically be the size of a chimp and have the same characteristics, but when it comes to human beings in general, I think we are more similar to an ant colony. We're a huge ant colony on the earth. And some of us are black ants, some of us are yellow ants, some of us are red ants, Yeah, well, hey, your tax dollars at work in the United States. That's how it works. Your tax dollars at work. They're giving you billions. That $600 is going to pay everybody's rent for months. You can't work. You can't open your business. But guess what? We got no answers for you, so you're screwed. If you open up and you're starving, too bad. We hope that $600 lasts you for another 8 months. That's what they're saying. When you think about it, that's what's going on. Exactly. It is a twilight zone. Well, is he a fraud, or is he just somebody who was trying to protect his interest? What does it matter where his money came from? I always wondered about that. Newsmax and Facts are airing 2-minute packages stating they have no evidence in fraud, Dominion, or no evidence. What? They have been no evidence. Listen, doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me at all, one way or the other. I don't know what I believe when it comes to the election. I would like to hope that our election is not completely rigged. I have my suspicions. However, without real proof that I see, and that, I cannot believe that every court is against Trump. Every single court's against him. Every single state is against him. I find that hard to believe. And I voted for him, okay? I voted for him both years. And why did it happen? Government stuff-ups, yeah. Well, I would watch the next week, Soy Dog, to see what happens here. And like I was saying, and one thing I didn't really think about in the United States is that a lot of restaurants are closing. The food industry and the restaurant industry is going to be much different, and it's already different, it's changing. in the future, just like the tourism industry is going to change, there's going to be a massive shift. Or it may be a subtle shift, but there's going to be a shift. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't like it. Now, I'm here, and I'm, listen, I'm pretty stable here. But, I got my wife asking me, do we really want to live here? And I'm like, well, where else are we going to live? You think I want to live in the United States? Tell Niall I might have to join him over there. Me and my boys can have a couple of pints of Guinness with him in the pub. I don't know. Well, I guess I don't know if the pubs are open there. But how can you have an electoral process where Zuckerberg can... Well, this is another thing. I was just talking about how here in Thailand, allegedly, I say that, take the hint. You see farmers coming down from their provinces all the time. Here you go, Gennaro. She was a barista. They come down and they are paid to vote for people. They get a little envelope, 500 baht, 1,000 baht in it. They come down, they sit there, They take a cheap train or whatever it is, and they make some money. It's easy money for them, With a lockdown coming, are they going to allow an extension of stay? Why wouldn't they? An extension of stay is something, if you've got everything lined up, there's no reason why they wouldn't. I don't know. Are you a tourist here? Are you here? Where are you? I don't know. You tell me, give me some more info so I can get some context to everything. Then I'll know. Listen, I think Trump is the kind of person that, I was just thinking this yesterday, he will do everything in his power. He will not give up. And that even means trying to pull off a lie, whatever. I think he'll do anything he can to stay in power. I think the Democrats, they'll do the same damn thing. I think they all... Here's the problem. The problem now is that the people in charge in Congress and the president, they all are about their party and staying in power. Think about something. There's got to be some kind of a board or an organization or whatever you want to call it that's in the middle. And, there's supposed to be these guidelines that offset each other, but when one party goes, oh, it's their fault, and the other party goes, oh, it's their fault. Oh, we're not going to do this because you said this and you said that. Remember Nancy Pelosi saying to the airlines, do not lay your people off. Do not let them go. You will be getting Monday. You'll be getting money. Just wait. Monday is going to show you everything. Well, that fucking came and went. Listen to Mitch McConnell. That old fuck, he's so out of touch. I mean, they're all out of touch. And I don't know that it has to do with being so well off financially, and you can't hate them for being rich. Although some of them may have, made their money, their ill-gotten gains. You can't hate on them for making money, though, And how many people out there haven't made some money on the sly a little bit? If you have an opportunity and hey, now some of them may be breaking the law. I don't dispute that. The point is, though, it's not about their money. It's about their inaction. It's about their lack of sympathy for the American public. And I'm not saying the government needs to get involved in everything or they need to be throwing people massive amounts of cash, but Jesus Christ, man. Don't tell the people you're going to give them this and give them that, and then you can't get along for 8 months well enough in a room to negotiate something, bang it out to help the people. It's fucking ridiculous. $600 is a slap in the face. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. And I've looked at a lot of different comments and all these kind of things. And most people, some people, oh, I don't take charity from the government. Listen, I wish that most people in the world didn't have to say, hey, listen, my business shut down. I don't have a way of making money. I don't know what I'm going to do. What do you tell some guy who's had a pizza business and he's been there for 25 years and he can't make it off of the deliveries? What do you tell him? Sorry, buddy, you're going to have to spend your life savings and now you have no money coming in because we told you to shut down because of this virus. Now you take the hit as a government and maybe the people in the government take a fucking pay cut for the next 2 years so that, they do their part. Yeah, exactly. It's not the government's money. So, anyway, I wanted to get back to something here because I found this article, Thais now biting the hand that feeds them. And it says, Thailand's second phase of the government's domestic tourism promotion campaign has been postponed after widespread corruption was found in the first stage. More than 500 participating hotels and shops were found to have profited from abusing the scheme, basically biting the hand that feeds them. Investigators found that 312 hotels and 202 shops participating in the state-backed promotion was involved in alleged irregularities, the Bangkok Post reported. The Tourism Authority decided to postpone traveler registration for the second phase of the We Travel Together campaign, which was due to start on Wednesday. He said that it was planned that up to 1 million travelers would benefit. Travelers who registered for the first phase can still claim unused benefits. Hotel rooms were booked at cheaper prices via phone app. There were check-ins without people staying there, but benefits claimed from cash coupons. So basically the hotels and shops were ripping off the government. It just amazes me how the world is now. Well, supposedly the martial law comment was attributed to John Bolton, which is why, and it was false. And Trump said he's the dumbest guy in Washington because of saying that. So who knows what was really said? This is the problem. Who knows? $600 is a disgrace with all the foreign aid given out. Well, yeah, they went over some of the things that are in this bill. I saw some of the things. No. Who said anything about martial law? Trump didn't say that. He didn't say he was going to declare martial law. That wasn't him. And that was fake news. At least to stop the election. In the future, if you want to vote, have the ballot by the end of the day on election day. BS mistake. Well, this is the thing. Listen, I got to vote. I got to vote from here. I get my ballots in well before they're due. Well before. I don't wait until oh shit, I should vote. I know I got to vote. It's important. Listen, if you don't vote, don't bitch to me. That's the whole thing. You got no right to bitch. Now, let me go on with this thing with Thailand here. Hotels increased room rates and colluded with restaurants in claiming benefits. No travel occurred. Those who sold their benefits would send the last 4 numbers on their ID cards and their mobile phone numbers for use in hotel check-ins they did not stay in. Hotels existed and registered to participate in the tourism campaign but did not open for business. The operators had sought state subsidies for fake room bookings. That's huge. So you have the government trying to help the hotel industry and some of the shops and restaurants, and they're trying to rip off the government. You know, it happens everywhere. Listen, don't tell me about blockchain and cyber. I do have, some cyber currency, and I do take that, and I get every once in a while I get a donation by Litecoin or Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or something like that. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not sure how it's going to be, but I can tell you, I'm happy to be older, and I don't want to deal with this bullshit. The world has become such a fucking mess. It's not as fun as it used to be. If you're thinking about these things, if you can eliminate these things out of your head, if you don't deal with these things all the time, which once I get out of, this is my place to vent, this is my, the chats are a way to vent, they're a way to communicate and to debate and to discuss and to think about these things. But see, here's the thing, just because Trump wants more stimulus doesn't mean that he can make it happen. He can say to the Republican Party, he can say, hey, listen, I really want this. Let's see if we can get it done. And they may say, oh, yeah, okay, but they don't want to get it done for whatever reason. So, well, I don't know if the world needs a reset, if the word need is appropriate or not. Yeah, I don't know. Canada's be getting a monthly check. I think in the UK, they get a certain percentage of their salary if they're laid off. Australia, I believe, was getting some money. New Zealand was getting some money. Here comes the big boy now. There isn't one country that can pay the interest of that. Listen, everybody's in debt. Almost everybody's in debt. Fortunately, I really don't see any reason to get real in debt and to put a ton of money into something and say, oh, well, I owe all this money. I don't have any reason for that. And my wife might feel, a little bit different from me, but I think generally we're on the same page. And that's a good thing, especially in a time like now. Listen, if you think I am not planning for the lockdown here again, you'd be wrong, because I am. I've been socking away more and more food. We went through our food stocks, some of our food stocks, without, buying a huge amount of groceries. And now I'm back to, buying rice, dried noodles, pasta, canned goods, whatever it may be, so that, long term, if anything happens, I don't have to worry about it. I can sit in my house for, 3 months, 6 months, and I don't have to worry about, am I going to be able to eat? Can my kids eat? So anyway, one of the things that I did want to talk about briefly was that Mr. Tom, who is now here, good morning, Mr. Tom. He went for his visa extension. Now, that's a marriage visa.
I have a marriage visa.
And it was good for 3 months.
No.
It was good for 2 months?
I have a 1-year multiple entry.
Oh, okay.
Visa issued by the embassy.
He has a 1-year multiple entry, which is what you usually get.
Yes.
Right, okay. I got to be clear. 1-year multiple entry.
In normal times, it allows me to stay in Thailand up to 90 days per stay.
Right. He has to go out of the country Then he can just come right back in. Now, do you ever just do a border run and just go right across and come right back the same day, or do you always go out, stay a couple days
Stay
somewhere?
a couple days.
Yeah.
I need a sanity break.
Yeah. We all need a break from a lot of things sometimes. Yeah, I saw that about Denmark culling the minks, but let me get back to this here. So he has a 1-year multiple entry marriage visa because he is married to a lovely Thai lady. And so his visa, his 90 days, is ready. When is it supposed to expire?
28th.
Of this month?
Of December.
But they gave you an extra 15 days.
I entered on September 30th. I was allowed
October,
90 days.
November, December. Okay, which is December 28th.
28th.
But they gave you an extra 15?
Now, when I went to the, I should just say this directly.
Huh?
You want me to just talk directly?
Okay, go ahead. Go for it.
People confuse visa and entry stamps. Your visa is issued at an embassy.
Right,
Your entry stamp is what the immigration officer stamps you at the airport.
Right.
And that tells you how long you're allowed to stay in the country.
right. But the visa determines in advance.
The rules and conditions of the stamp.
Right.
Right. And so I'm allowed to enter Thailand as many times as I want. I could go out and in every day if I wanted to, as it's a multiple entry. And I can go out and in and out and in every day for 365 days in a whole year. 360 days in the year for Thailand.
Right.
And so the maximum stay was 90 days. So when I entered the country on September 30th, I was given a 90-day stamp,
Right.
the first 2 weeks of which were taken up by the quarantine period
Right.
in a hotel.
Right. So you were given till basically the end of December.
End of December to leave the country or do something with my visa status.
However,
with my immigration status.
because of
COVID.
Because of COVID.
All the borders are closed. I cannot participate.
the land borders.
The land border, all the borders are effectively closed. The entries are only under, like I came in, only under very restricted circumstances.
Yeah, but you can fly out now.
I could.
You could fly out.
If I could find an airplane. There are not many airplanes flying
Right.
out.
There's not many. There's
Okay.
not. Yeah. Nowhere near as many
Yeah.
as before. It's a
But,
small
yeah,
percentage.
But all the land border crossings are absolutely closed.
Right.
And even if I were to get out, if I were to come back in, I'd have to go through another 90. I'd have to go through the process again to apply
Right.
for repatriation and get my 90 days in
Yeah.
quarantine.
Now,
which-
now
yeah.
I should say something here. The immigration department really is under no obligation to say to you, okay, we'll give you an extension. If they really wanted to be difficult, they could say, sorry, you need to get out before the end.
Absolutely.
They could.
Yeah.
However, you know they're not going to.
My wife and I went yesterday, and we had fun, and
And you dressed up a little bit?
I dressed up a little bit.
You wore long pants?
I wore long, not blue jeans.
Okay, there you go. Which
And-
is even
and-
better.
And a button-down shirt. I was presentable.
You looked as good as you could look.
I looked as good as I was willing to put the effort into.
Right.
And so, my wife she understands Thai bureaucracy.
Right.
It's not just Thai, it's bureaucracy.
Right. It's it's not only Thailand. We can take that out of the equation. It's the same way when it comes to people in other countries and they're trying to do the same
as
thing you're
immigrants
trying to
with the U.S. Immigration Service in Miami, Florida. Okay.
Right.
And so we politely introduced ourselves. My wife explained the situation. The lady
Right.
thought about it. We told the lady that we were there for a 60-day extension because that's what the U.S. Embassy said.
Right.
Okay. U.S. Embassy said you'd automatically get a 60-day extension. The immigration officer, nice lady, joked and says, "Okay, I think I only give you 1 day." She was joking.
Uh-huh.
But it is within her authority and power to give
Right.
me only 1 day.
Or nothing at all.
Or nothing
No,
at all.
you need to leave.
But she was polite.
Right.
She was trying to make light of it. She said, "Look,
Contrary to what most people may think, or some people may think, immigration, I've found that they've always been fairly accommodating as long as you look like you've made a solid attempt at having everything in line and you don't expect the world from them
Yeah.
for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there are guys who, listen, the one guy that and I'm sure some of the people still remember him in my chat, that used to say, oh, they don't want me here, they want to kick me out. And I said, well, what visa do you have? Oh, I'm just on a tourist visa. I said, well, you know, you can't just keep coming in and going out, coming in, going out. Eventually they're going to say enough. And sure enough, they said to him, you need to get a proper visa, like a retirement visa or a B visa or whatever it might be.
I had a friend that had the same experience, yes.
And so he got a little bit bitter about it.
Well, you have to
It's
remember,
like,
yeah, that takes us back to my original statement, which you have to
what is that
understand.
fucking,
Yeah.
is that the song?
Yeah.
Irritating as
That's the-
shit.
the
They
audio.
changed the tape though.
You have to understand the difference. I made the statement about visa versus entry stamp for a very specific reason. When people, for the last 10 years or more, 20 years, when you've come into Thailand with a stamp at the airport, it is colloquially called, it's called a visa. In fact, if you read the stamp, it does not say it's a visa. It says it's an entry stamp.
Right.
Okay? So Thailand has allowed people to enter the country without a technical visa, because visas are only issued at foreign embassies
Right.
of the country you want to enter.
Well, that's a no visa entry.
It's a no visa
If you get
entry
that.
stamp entry. On the other hand, if you were to go across the Friendship Bridge land border into Laos, if
Right.
it were open, before you go through customs immigration.
All right, Johnny, you take it easy, huh?
Hey, Johnny.
Talk to you later. Tom says goodbye too.
Yeah, you actually buy a visa from the immigration officer who's stationed at the border. Okay,
Right.
but Thailand did it
That's
differently. Okay, and so yeah, people got caught for abusing it. Okay, we'll come back to that later if you want to. I have a funny story from a friend, but anyway. So the immigration officer.
All right, so you're confusing them. So they gave you how much time
Okay,
when
so
you went into
the immigration
immigration?
officer considered our request I requested 90, even though the embassy said 60,
Right.
and everyone else said 60 was max
Right.
too.
You just want to try to get the most you
Yeah.
could.
And so after the conversation, and it's just about communication with my wife, the lady said, let me think about this. And she explained it to my wife. My wife explained it to me. She said, look, I can give you a 15-day extension right now. And then you can come back after 15 days, 14 days, whatever it is, and I can stamp you automatically, no questions asked, no paperwork, no extra money for another 45 days.
Which is excellent. So you have effectively, then did you have to pay for that 15?
I had to pay $2,000 for the 15-day extension with the
Okay.
45-day option.
Right,
okay?
which is about
Which
67
about
bucks.
$60 for about
67 bucks.
Yeah.
66.
for roughly 60 days divided into 15 and 45.
Right. So
okay?
you did get your 60 days.
I got it. Okay. So
Which
so,
is perfectly
so the lady,
acceptable.
but the lady was explaining that if she automatically gave me the 60-day extension, I was only allowed to receive one of those 60-day extensions, and it could not be extended again.
Right.
But if I took this 1545, if I took, for him,
Yeah, I know.
If I took the 1545-60 option, then that non-renewable 60-day option kicks in 60 days from now. So effectively, she gave me a path to having 120 extra days in the country with the inconvenience of going into the immigration office 2 more times. Honestly, there aren't that many people in the immigration office.
No, I
Yeah, and so
I believe it.
it's not that big of a headache to do what I did.
Okay, so that's good to know.
So that's what I did. I listened. We politely and rationally explained to this lady that the reason I need to be in Thailand.
Which is how you should always be
She
in
thought-
the
she thought, yeah.
immigration department.
She thought about it. She said, "Let me
Yeah.
give you the option that I think is best for you." She's not trying to screw me.
Yeah, I know.
Are there people in Thailand that don't want foreigners here? Yes.
Yeah.
Is that immigration officer behind the counter
Listen.
on that day? No.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
from what I've seen, okay? It's just what I've seen, for the most part. When you go to immigration, most immigration officers, they're like anybody else in the world. They just want to go to work, do their job, and get the hell out of Dodge. There may be some guy who, for whatever reason, he got called a foul word by some foreigner. He got, the foreigners are giving him a hard time all day, and he's at his wit's end, and the wife, won't bang him, or the wife is, giving him a hard time because he doesn't make enough money or something. He
They
might
have
be,
a- they
he
have a
might be in
personal life.
he might be have a bad, having a bad day, and he might be in a bad mood, and he might kind of take it out on you. Now, generally, they're not hating on foreigners. They are trying to do their job so that the masses of Thailand do not suffer because they decide to do something with foreigners. Kind of like in the United States, where they just say, everybody can come in, we want open borders. No, I don't want open borders. I don't want people running across my border and being automatically allowed into the country. That's me. But that's the way that the Thais are. And I think so far they've done a pretty good job. For the most part, don't you think?
I think so.
When it comes to immigration, they can be a little wishy-washy sometimes. And like I always say, it takes time for them to iron things out. They usually will release a statement, they take it back a little bit, they may change it up a little bit, and then the next thing you know, they've got it figured out, and then it's not all that bad. That's usually how it works.
A little serendipity from yesterday. As we were leaving, they have a big sign about the 90-day registration, 90-day in-country registration.
Right.
And so I took a picture of it, said, when I get home, I'll fill out this paperwork because I'm going to be in the country more than 90 days, right?
Yeah.
And so I looked on the website.
90-day report.
My 90-day report. I looked on the website. The website is down. You can't do it on the website. I downloaded the form, and I thought, something? The immigration lady, let me look at the paperwork I got from the immigration lady. I looked at my passport, and lo and behold, she had already thought of that for me, and she registered me for the 90 days. I have a 90-day receipt in my passport already.
Huh.
Okay, she thought ahead. She thought about me. She knew I was going to cross the 90 days.
Don't sound so surprised. It does happen.
No. I'm just saying.
Honestly,
it supports what you said, that people aren't out to get you. They're just trying to do their job. Now, if she hadn't done it, I would have had to do it. But she thought about it, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
as you should be.
Yeah.
Because if it was me serving you, I probably would have jumped all over you and been like, no, leave the country, you bastard, you
That's
evil
right.
farang. You probably brought the COVID with you.
I know you. Yeah.
What I was saying earlier is that, there's a lot going on right now. And what I was saying is that while I don't always think that the virus is going to be something that's going to kill me, or I'm going to get it and I'm going to kill somebody else. I don't know that I always agree with that. I guess it depends on the situation. But for the most part, I look at it a little bit differently. I don't want to be that guy. The guy who is walking around the mall going, fuck you, I'm not wearing my mask.
Yeah.
And then somebody in the mall gets the virus, and they look through the film,
And they remember.
and they
you were
see
there.
me, and then they figure out, oh, it's this guy. We know who this guy is. They look me up in their system because I'm in the M-card system. They find out where I live. They contact me. They get in touch with me, and they're like, why didn't you wear it? We need to test you. We need to do this. And they give me a hard time about it. I don't want to have to be in that position. That is the main reason.
I don't even do it for that reason. I wear masks because
You're one of the
seems-
sheep.
Yeah, in a little bit. It's just not worth the hassle.
Exactly.
of not
It's
doing
not
it.
worth the hassle.
It's no skin off my back to do it. And if I forget, because I forget, I can be honest and say, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Right.
It's
Which
that
they
simple.
usually are pretty.
It's that simple.
I mean, I've never had anybody give me a hard time about it. In fact, I've walked around a couple times. I was in the grocery the other day, and I was actually streaming. I was walking around, and I went, oh shit, I forgot my mask. Where's my mask? And then I put my mask on.
In my experience in the last few weeks, I've only been back a month and a half, 2 months, whatever. People around here, Thais, foreigners, people around here wear their masks by and large
To avoid conflict.
Many of them don't even wear them properly. Okay, they'll have it tucked under their nose. They'll hang it hanging off their ear.
Right.
Okay, they do their best. And with Thailand's number, the southwest of Bangkok, Samut Prakan area, that now in one day it jumped from 450 to 900. It doubled in one
Samut
day.
Sakon, and now it's up to 1,000, around 1,000.
Samut Sakon.
Samut
I saw
Sakon.
some crowd, but anyway, that's okay. They're right next to each other. you know, even my wife and some of her friends now are talking about, well, we know things are going to shut down, so let's start planning for our shutdown.
Well, that's what I was just saying. It's Samut Sakon. It's there because the seafood market is the biggest one.
Yeah, it's a big.
And it's only about 2 kilometers from the ocean, and I think it's 30 kilometers from Bangkok.
Yeah.
So it is fairly close, and there are cases in Bangkok.
Yeah.
There was a case in Ayutthaya. It gets around, but it's just, I don't know. You just do what you do just because. I mean, what's your choice?
But people are already planning. They're already expecting a broader scope shutdown in Thailand.
There it is right there. We were just talking about this, about the lockdown.
Yeah.
Let me get back on here so
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
people. You eat what are you eating there, though? The muffin, what is it? Chicken mushroom. Chicken mushroom pastry.
It's kind of a peel-off pastry.
Yeah, those are okay. They're not exactly healthy if you're on a diet, but that's all right. Anyway, so let me get back to let's roll through here. How long have we been on here? An hour and 10 minutes. Where's Gennaro at? It's so funny that he never comments when there's no barista around. We got in case he is listening, we got the C team working right now. We got the manager, and we got Mook. No Tien, no Preo, and no, what's her name? Beer. No beer. No beer, no Preo, no Tien. Got the C team. Anytime there's a guy, it drops down to a C. And, they got the manager here, so, Oh, yeah, you don't... Listen, I went to this restaurant upstairs. I'm sorry, I have to tell you about this. It's called the Rap God. It's up on the top floor near the convention center as you go into where they have that little food court. It's right there. And my kid told me about it. And he said to me, you got to go. They got Mexican food up there. And so I went up there, and they do have quesadillas and tacos. But they also have wraps and kebabs, which is a Middle Eastern dishes, right? They also have hot dogs and hamburgers and chicken, which is American, and they also have various types of French fries, which of course is French. Yeah, pommes frites.
If you say so.
That's Dutch. Anyway, I'm just joking, but anyway, they got all these different kinds of food. So I was looking for a place to eat. I was streaming the other day, and I go up there, and I have a wrap. What did I have? Just a wrap? I had just a wrap. Oh, I had a wrap and some fries and a Coke. Worst fucking meal I've had in Thailand that I can remember. The next day, I thought, or 2 days later, I thought, I'm going to try to do a little something different there. Give them another chance. So I had the cheesy fries, which, I thought was a safe bet. And what else did I have? Oh, a taco.
Cheese, Thailand. Cheese, Thailand. Not a safe bet.
I had a taco, and it was like a soft taco, but they have so much sauce and so much lettuce in it, and it was very bland. It had no seasoning, like Mexican seasoning, and I was like, 2 times in a row, this place is freaking horrible. So I am sworn off the Rap God, and then to make matters worse, on one of the days, I think it was in between, I went to Abon Pan. Now they have bagels, real bagels. You can't get a freaking bagel in the grocery here.
Right.
You get a muffin. It's an English muffin. You don't get a bagel. So I go to the Abon Pan. I say, can I have a bagel, please? She's mumbling something. Yeah, whatever. So I get the bagel. It's completely dry. I go, what about the cream cheese? Oh, that's an extra 35 baht. So you give me a freaking dry bagel with no cream cheese. I go, you used to give it to me for free, which, of course, that's how they were in Starbucks, too. They used to butter my muffin. What I find so funny is that they give you free butter they give you free butter and free jam for your croissant here. And for a muffin that costs exactly the same amount, they won't give you butter or jam. They won't give you any either. You ever think about maybe bringing, I ought to do this. The next time I order a muffin here, what I'll do is I'll go to the grocery and I'll buy those packs of the little single serving butters, and then I'll just bring my own butter here so I can save the 50 cents or whatever that it costs here. Oh my God. So what was I saying? Oh, so they give me this, they give me the bagel, and I say to them, yeah, you know, like, what, you taking me, you know, you're giving it to me for free before, and she goes, free, let me give you this. She gave me sweetened condensed milk for my bagel. And you know, I ate it because the bagel was bone dry. So, never again. So now when you go in and you look at Aubon Pain and they say, your bagel is 65 baht. If you want something with it, you're gonna pay about half the price of the bagel. That's how it is here. It's not like you get, you know, a bagel with cream cheese and lox or something like that. You don't get that here. You've got to order that specifically. It's like ordering a burger with cheese. You know, that's the same thing. Anyway, what are we saying here? The pasta serving out of the Shawshank Redemption. I don't know. I just had some great pasta the other day. Spaghetti puttanesca, which literally means your pasta thrown together in the whorehouse. That's what it means, seriously. And it turned out very well. So anyway, let's get back on track here. We're here to talk about barista, and we already know that. Because Gennaro says so. I found a couple of, shit, son of a bitch, I don't have much time on my phone. I forgot all about that. I found a couple of places to go to. I've got 3 places. They're all very doable for me. So, what's today? Monday? Tuesday. Thursday is Christmas Eve. I probably on Thursday, I will stream again and I will go somewhere. I'm not going to say where it is, but it should be pretty cool. Pretty nice little place. Could go to a market. Oh, thank you very much. There we go. All right, now I don't have to worry as much. Hang on a second. All right, anyway. So, you know, some of this stuff is important for people who are planning on coming here. You better keep your eyes open. You better stay tuned. You know, consider subscribing because you know, things are, like I said before a couple days ago, things are very fluid here, constantly changing. You never know what's going to happen. And if we're locked down here, he was just saying that he and his wife are planning for another lockdown. And here it is, you know, all over the news. You know, it may happen. But it says here that Thailand's GDP could see a steep contraction, similar to the second quarter decline if nationwide lockdown measures are imposed to contain a fresh round of outbreaks. Should a new round of infections result in a lockdown in Bangkok or across Thailand, overall economic activities would be impeded, and Kiatipong Ariyaprucha, senior country economist for Thailand, said, yeah, whatever, she's at the World Bank. Under this scenario, domestic consumption would diminish and cause the unemployment rate to edge up, with Thailand's GDP nudging lower as a result, said Mr. Kiatipong. In the event of a lockdown to contain the domestic outbreak, the country's GDP would experience a steep contraction similar to the second quarter's decline. We already said that. The GDP shrank to 12.2% year on and 9.7% quarter to quarter on a seasonally adjusted basis in the second quarter as the economy took heavy blows from the outbreak and from the nationwide lockdown. Bloomberg reported the outlook for Thailand's economy this year is the most dire in Asia. Wow. That's coming from the Bloomberg. Given heavy reliance on exports and tourism. Well, there you go. both of which have suffered heavy blows amid the outbreak with the strong baht, compounding grievances for exporters. Wasn't I just saying that the other day? I said that is the final nail in the coffin. If for whatever reason the baht continues to get stronger, and you get down to say 27 or something like that, forget about it. They're in deep doo-doo. You like that, huh? Deep doo-doo. They're in deep doo-doo. Let me see here. Hang on. The full year contraction, GDP contraction, could arrive at an improved ratio since the economy was anticipated to reach a trough in the second quarter. At least 2.5 years will be needed for the country's GDP to recover to pre-pandemic levels. Now, here they are saying it's going to take at least 2.5 years. And did you see what they're saying is they don't want tourism to return to the pre-COVID levels because Thailand is too reliant on tourism, which is understandable. But then how are you going to get back to in 2.5 years to your pre-COVID levels? How's your GDP going to get back?
Above my pay grade.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that. No corn dogs for me, sorry. Let me continue here. Becoming a high-income country by 2037 is part of the 20-year national strategy plan devised by the Prayut Chan-o-cha government to ensure the country achieves its vision of becoming a developed country with security, prosperity, and sustainability in accordance with the sufficiency economy philosophy, according to the National Economic and Social Development Board. Jesus Christ. They have to write these freaking sentences that are like a mile long, a kilometer long. To achieve 5% GDP growth on an annual basis, China needs to double both public and private investments to 40% of GDP from the existing 20%, according to the World Bank. It doesn't look good, okay? I hate to say it. I wouldn't count on them meeting their goal, but you never know. You just never know. That the cure cannot be worse than the disease. Well, I think the cure is probably worse than the disease already.
Well, you never can tell. You might go to heaven and you might go to you never can tell.
Whatever. Anyway, so there it is there. That's where we stand. You know, I know people... What is this? No, don't allow. Sorry. You're not getting in there. Somebody trying to hook up with me.
Yeah.
On my phone. So yeah, I mean, listen. It's not good for me either. You know. I know there's a lot of people, they're like, oh, I can't wait to get back. What? I can't get back for another 2 years now? That doesn't sit well. But like I said, there is a place that I'm gonna go. There's a couple places I've been thinking about for the past few days. And actually, my mother was one who brought up a place. She was wondering if I had been there. And it should be a very, very cool place to go. And I gotta just look into it a little bit. If I can go there on Friday or Thursday, I will. I'm not sure if it's open. But we'll have to see. So, anyway, Gennaro, I apologize for the poor selection of barista today. Barista is a code word. But it is pretty piss poor today. Have you noticed how cold it's been lately?
It's been refreshing.
It's been nice and cool lately.
Refreshing is the word in English.
Refreshing, yes. It's been refreshing.
But the refreshing is balanced by the pollution.
Well,
particle
yeah. What was I going to say? It's 100 and where's the? Let me see. I got my little scrap here.
My eyes are watering.
I need some drops. I need some better glasses. Right now we're at, or as of about 2 hours ago, we were at 108, which is unhealthy for sensitive people. You know, the thing is at this juncture, Trump is pretty much a non-factor unless he comes up with a rabbit in a hat. He pulls a miracle. He's on his way out. I hate to say it. And, I agree. He's done a lot more than people give him credit for. I haven't always liked how he comes across, but it's not always about that. Like I said the other day, Tom Cruise had a message for the people that were working on his movie. I liked his message. His message was, understandable. However, I didn't like the method of delivery. You see that shit going on with Tom Cruise?
I find the parallel between Trump and Tom Cruise quite bizarre.
Well, they both have great hair. That's what it is. They both have great hair.
To answer your question,
That's what it is. I mean, really, think about it.
I got it.
The guy goes off on a tangent. He's lucky some guy who was a little bigger than him didn't just crack the shit out of him. Well, I agree. Trump is an outsider. He was an outsider. That's why it was drain the swamp. But guess what? The swamp is too full of quicksand, and it's going to be very, very difficult to get it to where it's solid.
23rd is the next landmark date. Did you know that?
23rd of
I learned
what?
that yesterday. Tomorrow.
For what?
The 23rd.
For what?
Is the date that the electors are presented to the officer in charge or the head of the president of the Senate for acceptance.
Okay. I thought they already accepted it.
No, the House accepted it.
Oh, that's right.
It needs to go to the Senate, and the Senate, the president of the Senate, i.e. Vice President Pence, one of the candidates involved, must accept the electors. He
Okay.
has an option of declaring. This is not only Constitution. This is under Title II. I saw this yesterday. He has the option of declaring some of the electors that are nominated as fraudulent and demand the states to resubmit non-fraudulent electors. He can do that.
I don't think it's going to happen.
The question is, he talked a good talk during the campaign. Does he have the balls? Does he have the cojones to walk the walk?
Listen,
it's all there is to it.
No, but here's the thing too. You forget about something. It's about where's the beef. You can declare this, you can say no, it's fraudulent, you can do that, but eventually you're going to have to come up with. It's like if you say this. Listen, hang on a second. Let me speak. It's like if you're doing some online dating and you tell a chick, I got a 10-inch tool, and honey, I'm going to rock your world. And you go out on a date, and she's like, oh, I'm really anxious to see your tool. And you're like, don't worry, you will. And you keep putting her off. Eventually she's gonna like, hey, where's the beef? Show me the money. Just show me. Where you going, Mr. Mitch? See you in the new year. It's a long ways off, man. So 10 days, you taking a little vacation? Vacay? Spending time with your family or what's going on? Well, that's how you can see the parallel.
Look, I'm not saying he will do it. I'm saying it is a legal option under Title II.
It can be a legal option, but eventually, just like with the courts, he's going to have to show the proof. The proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Idaho. Mr. Mitch's private Idaho. Well, hopefully you get everything squared away. Try to have a nice holiday. Thanks for 2020, Mr. Mitch. And I'll see you when I see you. As they say in the Philippines. See you when I see you. That's where I learned that. In the Philippines. Anyway, yeah. Eventually you got to whip out the tool and show that you really have the goods. Or it's like a fighter. you know, you've been fighting a bunch of stiffs, and everybody's like, no, these guys were really tough, and they were really tough. But everybody's going, nah, we don't think so. Eventually, you're gonna have to step up to the plate and fight somebody that everybody knows is damn good, you know.
Yep.
Big sis, no, not as opposed to the bi sis, and her family live in Idaho. My other sister is Daho. Idaho, the potato state. Well, have fun. Have fun. Take care of yourself. Hopefully you're doing all right. And I'm going to say it this way. 2021 is a brand new freaking year. Hopefully we have a clean slate and everything will be hunky-dory next year. Everything will pan out and we're going to be happy too much. We're going to be happy too much. Happy, very, very happy.
Very happy.
So, listen, I think I'm going to cut it short. We're at 90 minutes right now. And I'm certain I'm going to need a break. You know, I don't have much more to say. I went over everything here. I do think it's pretty important if you're interested in Thailand and, you know, just in its place in the world as a tourist destination. Keep an eye on things, whether through the news or through my channel. A lot going on in the U.S. I think the next couple of weeks will be very telling. Don't let it get you down. I'm doing my best not to. When I start getting irritable, you know, I have a glass of wine and I feel a little bit better. It helps a little bit. You know, taking a barista, have some fun with her, do whatever you might want to do. But if you, like I said before, if you're not subscribed already, yeah, longest 365-day decade. It's pretty good. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. If you are subscribed, thank you. Please leave a thumbs up, as many thumbs up as you can. The next stream, hopefully, I will be somewhere very cool. You know, at least pretty cool. I'm not going to take a long journey because Christmas is the day, it's Friday. But hopefully that'll pan out. We'll see. I'll be somewhere. And what else? Visit my website. Everything's down in the description. Just check everything out in the description. Just keep watching, keep chatting, whatever it might be. If anybody has got something else to say, please say it or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, we're out of here. Another one. Every single time, it never fails. It's about 3 or 4 now that every single time somebody tries to come in through the door and come into the mall, even though the mall's not open, it never fails. You'd think they'd put a little sign up or something saying the mall doesn't open until this time, but they don't.
Actually, what they should do, more positive,
Uh-huh.
they say, have a sign up there. We're happy to serve you while you wait here to enter the mall.
It opens at.
It opens at this time.
That's a very nice way to put it.
Yeah, we're happy to serve you.
But
please consider coffee.
that's asking too much. It'd probably take another couple of years for them to do that because they, for the most part, they don't change their music. Now, FYI, they have changed their music now, finally. But when I go into the mall, even across the street, they're playing the same damn music every day. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, All I Want for Christmas Is You, have a holly jolly Christmas, and Merry Christmas. And Feliz Navidad, which my channel got, my video got demonetized for Feliz Navidad, and then some Miley Cyrus song. So Anyway, anybody got any questions, comments, insults, whatever? Anybody want to say anything? Otherwise, arrivederci, choke D. Where's Mr. Propeller who always says jerkin? Choke D, jerkin my. I am Scott, I'm an American. I'm in Bangkok right now. The land of smiles. There you go, there he is, the spaceman. Sorry, not Propeller. Get them mixed up sometimes. You know how you can mix up a propeller and a spaceman. I don't know how I do it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, Tom and I are going to go have a lovely lunch somewhere. Me die. Come, me die. You can't get out, honey. Sorry, you're locked in. They don't want you to leave. You're on lockdown. Starbucks lockdown. Anyway. Yeah, they should have a little button that when you push the to get in, you hear this, we're sorry, mall is not yet open. Tony, you have a good one. Hopefully I'll see you guys on Thursday. I won't stream tomorrow. I need a day off, all right? Every once in a while I need a little time off, you know? I like you guys, but I like my privacy and rest equally. So anyway, as you can see, everything's starting to open up. We're at the 97-minute mark. It's time to go. I gotta like re-break my nose here. And that's all I got. So you know what? No more goodbyes. Isn't that a song? No, that's no more I love yous. No more I love yous. No more goodbyes. Choke D, jerk and mine, all that good stuff. All right, adios. That was another good.